So a few weeks ago, I posted this in my local Facebook group, and I made a video on exactly what happened from that. Check it out somewhere up here if you want to watch it. But what was really cool is one of the guys that I connected with through that post was really impressed with the demo that I made, and he invited me to present at his networking thing that he goes to every Wednesday morning on Zoom.
That you are very reasonably priced for this service. I want to connect you with people.
So I said, absolutely, of course, and this is the networking presentation that I gave. Now, quick disclaimer, my son was in the ER. He's totally fine, like 2 days before this, and this networking meeting was at 7:30, and I was just not firing on all cylinders. I wasn't 100% ready, but all things considered, I think it went okay. The thing that I messed up was having a better way for them to connect with me at the end of the presentation. So I should have said, hey, I'll build a free demo for anybody on this call. All you need to do is book a call here, give me a little bit of info on you, I'll build it, and then I'll show it to you on the call. But instead I said, oh, here's my cell phone number, text me, which was just a bit too aggressive and a bit too passive at the same time. I should have had a simple, value-driven way for them to connect with me. So learn from my mistakes. Given that background, I know people that this is their sole client acquisition strategy, and they absolutely crush it with it. Joining local networking groups, giving presentations like this. So just wanted to get this method of getting clients out to you, give you an idea of what you might say, but definitely learn from my mistakes and improve upon them. Let's get to the demo.
Without further ado, Keaton was brought as a guest to our group today. I don't know if you want to give a brief intro of how you got to know him and why you felt like he would be a good fit for a training today, but I'm excited to hear from him and look forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, I reached out to Keaton. I think I found him on, if I recall correctly. Yeah. But he's actually doing some work for someone else I know, and he's really sharp, knows AI really well, and so I've been impressed with the conversations I've had with him, and
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. I know for all of us, this is probably true. If we're not keeping up with the changes in technology, it won't be long before our businesses completely suffer from it. As much as it's nice not to worry about changes and, you get in a groove, you get comfortable. I've been doing this for 7 years, and I feel like I have things the way I want them, but with AI and with the advance in technology, if I'm not continually sharpening the saw, then I will be left behind. So Keaton, without further ado, we'll turn the time to you and
Cool. Can I just get a quick rundown? If you're not in a place where you can unmute, that's fine, but can you just tell me what your business is, just so the examples I give will be a little bit closer to home today?
I'm in home warranty, so I deal with real estate agents and homeowners on service contracts.
I am the marketing director for a law firm.
I
do commercial cleaning.
I do bookkeeping company.
I do life, health, disability, Medicare, long-term care, and employee benefits.
Nice.
HVAC.
I'm a general dentist. Pest control.
I'm a financial advisor.
Escrow officer.
Very cool. Okay, so just a tiny bit about me. I've been in marketing about 7 years. I started out in the orthodontic space, and this was way before AI was really good enough to do much. So we did everything manually and ran ads for them and helped them call their leads so that we could book as many as possible. Worked with about 150 orthodontists all over the US and Canada. Sold that business, and now I was very plugged into the space, and as AI has come out, I've stayed pretty close to the cutting edge there. So what I wanted to show today is just 3 super simple things that anybody can implement that will save you time and make you more money. And the things are reviews AI. So this has to do with your Google reviews, chat AI, and voice AI. So I'll show you the reviews one real quick. So this is a client of mine. Her name's Linda. She's a photographer in Texas. And we just have this on auto responses. So anytime she gets a review, it just responds for her. And she doesn't have any sort of special prompting in here. You can set some sort of template that you want it to respond with, but it'll actually take the info that the person put and respond either as you or as somebody else from the company. And this is really important for SEO and ranking on Google Maps. Responding to your reviews helps you rank higher. So that's just a super simple one anyone can implement. The software I'm using, this is my software, Streamline. It's built on a platform that has hundreds of millions of dollars in funding, and they're releasing new AI stuff even faster and faster every day now. So you can get that software directly, or you can work with someone like me that helps you implement. So that's what I'm doing. David mentioned that I'm working with a friend of his. It's actually this lady here. She's a chiropractor in Salt Lake and like the Harvard Yale area. She was like responding every morning to all these reschedules, and it's just her right now. She kind of has a part-time receptionist, and she was like, do I hire someone overseas? Do I figure out something with AI, or do I hire like a real receptionist? She's pretty busy, but she's only a few days a week right now and wants those days a week to be as helpful as possible, or as busy as possible, but ideally helping patients, not just responding to people. So she said she was like, I can't even eat breakfast some days because I'm responding to so many people. So this is an example of what most of what we're doing for her is helping her with scheduling and rescheduling. What's really cool is we can plug into her like scheduling software and actually book appointments with this as well. But this is a common thing on Instagram right now, so I wanted to show this. Basically, let's say somebody posts something and said, hey, comment this word, and we'll respond, or we'll send you whatever resource. So the word here would be spine. I hit spine, it says send you the link, and then we can program this to say whatever we want it to. Thanks for reaching out about getting help with your back pain. Can you tell me more about the pain and how long ago it started? Lower back, I had a car accident a few years ago and it's never gotten better. It responds, guides me through a conversation, and I can ask more questions here. But like I said, it can actually pull the availability from her calendar and book me into that, which is really cool. And we're running into some really cool stuff with her as well, where like somebody's texting her and saying, hey, I'm gonna be 5 minutes late, or hey, I need to reschedule, and it's 30 minutes before, she's with another patient, but she can still respond to that person and give them good customer service. And if for some reason the bot can't handle it, just says, hey, I'll get you to a human as soon as possible. She has like one of the most complicated bots I've ever built. She's got like 15 appointment types, and obviously like no human override really, because her receptionist's only there a few days a week. But it's amazing the results we've been able to get just with a bot that costs a few $100s a month, you know? So then the last one is voice AI. And this one, in my opinion, outbound voice AI, meaning let's say you're running ads online or something like that, and I'm calling, I fill out a form for a free furnace or a $50 furnace, whatever, for an HVAC contractor. I get a call from AI and it says, hey, this is an AI call, which is required by law. It doesn't work right now. The fact that you have to disclose and you have to start the call out like that isn't gonna yield great results. But it's a very different conversation when somebody's calling into you. They found your business online, have researched you, and they just have a couple of questions. What this voice AI can do is either just do FAQs, like, hey, for the one I'm gonna show is for an auto glass company, one that we built. So they replace windshields, and people are calling in and they're saying, hey, I have a crack on my windshield. We can program the AI to say, okay, how big is the crack? Okay, it's larger than 2 inches. That can actually be unsafe. It's really important to get this taken care of as soon as possible. Can I get you on the schedule? However, if it was a more like FAQ based company, like a photographer, I'm sure you're thinking of examples right now for your own businesses. The use case there is really cool because it can answer the questions, but it can also send texts and like Google Maps links. It can trigger other automations, send a report to your team, that type of thing. So a friend of mine, actually in the UK, he's doing this with restaurants, and he can get the phone to answer, take the order, send it to the kitchen, and send a payment link. So the person pays for the meal, it gets sent to the kitchen, and they didn't lose that sale because they couldn't answer the phone, which is the big idea here. And if you're thinking, oh, well, I'd always want a human to answer the phone, of course you want them to answer as often as possible, but sometimes it's not possible, like after hours, or even if people are out in the field or whatever your version of that is. You can program with most carriers for this to forward only after 3 rings. So if your team doesn't pick up in 3 rings, then the AI answers and says, hey, welcome to XYZ business. I'd love to help you. So let me just demo this real quick. This is for the auto glass company that I mentioned.
Hi there. It seems like you might have been about to share something. Could you let me know how I can assist you? you today?
Yeah, I have a crack on my windshield I've been meaning to take care of.
Got it. Is the crack larger than 2 inches, or is it more of a small rock chip? This will help me guide you on the next steps.
Yeah, it's definitely bigger than 2 inches.
Thanks for letting me know. Driving with a large crack can be unsafe, so it's a good idea to get it taken care of quickly. For an accurate quote, could you please text your VIN number to this number? Our customer care team will review it and call you back as soon as they're available. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, actually my other car does have like a smaller chip.
All right, good to know. For smaller rock chips under 2 inches, we've got a $50 rock chip special going on right now. You can stop by any time Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. at 10665 South 700 East Sandy, Utah 84070, just down the road from Dimple Dell Recreation Center. Would you like me to text you the address for convenience?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sure. I'll send it right now. The address has been sent to you. Let me know if there's anything else I can help with.
I think that's it. So I just text my VIN number where you sent me that maps link.
Exactly. Just text your VIN number to this same number, and our team will get back to you with a quote as soon as possible. Thanks for calling, and have a great day.
Thanks. So usually it says, hey, our team is busy with other customers right now, but I can help you just like a human. And again, that would only override if for some reason the owner or a field manager can't answer. 3 super cool things you can implement. Not here to say you have to buy these from me. You could get these. There's tons of opportunity out there or like industry specific things that might be better for you. But just excited to show you guys what's possible because it's like amazing now. It's just getting better.
That was awesome.
That is awesome. What questions do we have for Keaton?
Can you help with any type of business?
Yeah, like I said, we have auto glass companies, photographer, real estate agents. I've helped, I'm not going to say every industry, but yes, we can. If there's any like specific use cases you guys are thinking about, or like usually that's kind of the next question is like, would it work in this situation? Happy to answer that as well.
Can you remind me, what was the platform that you said you used?
It's built on HighLevel is the name of the platform. And they've got hundreds of millions in funding and a massive, massive team. But their model is the small business owner usually doesn't have the time or expertise to implement this stuff. And so they go through like a reseller program where someone like me, local, instead of you going to like a Podium or a Weave or a like big corporate company that's maybe going to be able to help you, but really is going to leave you after just a few months of getting onboarded. It's kind of like a local to local thing or industry to industry. Like when I was working with orthodontists, we used it and we had orthodontic specific templates that we would duplicate. And we were able to deploy those quickly for that specific industry because we were a like partner with them.
Got a couple questions, Keaton. What,
Sure.
if any, what mistakes do you see people doing out there when they're trying to implement AI? What things are they doing that are just unnecessary? I don't know if anything comes to mind.
Yeah, what I just said is actually a big thing. Like the small business owner, yes, you should learn it and you should be trying to implement it as much as possible yourself. But the mission of my company is to keep the business owners we work with in their zone of genius and us in ours. Because like chiropractor that I mentioned that we're working with, we've had to integrate with her software. We've had to build this bot and like a bunch of revisions on it. And if she had to do this, she would have given up by now. So don't be afraid to ask for help and get them set up. There's people like me who will really do the heavy lifting for you. And these tools can pay themselves back in literal days. Like the auto glass company, for example, windshield is anywhere from like $3,000 to $1,000 usually. $1,000 would be like really expensive. They're missing 2 calls a day, 6 days a week, just because they can't answer the phone. Conservatively, let's say $300 each time. It actually adds up to $187,000 a year that they could be missing out on, or they could be recouping for their business just by answering the phone. So it's the cost of like not getting this implemented is much higher than people think.
Some of us probably don't receive that volume of calls all the time. How would you say this kind of a thing could benefit someone like that?
Great question, because the example is, again, this chiropractor. She's the exact same. She's like gonna lean more into marketing soon, but like really calls aren't the main value there. And so for her, it was the chatbot because people are texting a lot. And so I find usually if you're not getting high volume calls, the chat can really help. But my company, what we do is like, hey, you're not getting a high volume of calls. I'm not going to charge you an extra subscription fee for all of these calls that are coming in. We'll set a one-time fee for you to get the chat or the voice AI, the receptionist set up, and then it's just usage only. So if you're doing 10 minutes a month, the usage is around 40 cents a minute. So you pay $4 a month to be able to capture those couple calls that come in that you missed, which is totally worth it.
And you can do it across multiple different platforms, it sounds like, right? So you do Instagram, personal cell phone numbers.
And that's the other cool thing about the platform that I use. It's all in one spot. So your texts, your Facebook, your Instagram messages, TikTok DMs now, calls can all be recorded and put in one spot. So you've got all of the communication with that person. You can see what the AI said. You can see where the human stepped in. You can add your team to it. Yes, you can add it to all the different platforms, but the unified inbox is so helpful because you don't have to have 8 tabs up on your screen to see what the AI is doing.
How long does it usually take you to build something like this for a base service company?
Yeah, depending on complexity, about 5 days. Like, hey, we had a call, you told me what you want, and we have version 1, which means I can deploy that and it's going to handle like 70 to 80% of use cases correctly. And then it's probably about a month of refining. Like, for example, the chiropractor we launched on Friday, and she got a message that was like, hey, I live in Rigby, Idaho. Obviously, we had literally neither me nor the chiropractor had thought, oh, somebody's going to message in and say, I'm from out of state. Probably maybe the first message she's ever gotten like that. And so we had to take that response, create a templated, this is what to say if somebody says they're from out of state, which wasn't in the original programming, but that doesn't take too long. And as long as you're on top of it for that month, you're literally training an employee that never has to be trained again. You can update things, but when you think about the alternative of training a receptionist who's likely to leave at some point and will not execute the instructions as reliably as AI will, the trade-off is pretty much a no-brainer.
Well, the cost of hiring employees is about $16,000. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, then my next question is, do you guys stay on for a while? How do you make it work? So like finding the Rigby thing, what's the connection to create those additions?
So we have a setup fee and then there's a monthly fee, and that includes, for most softwares you have to go in and make the update if it's having an issue. But for that monthly fee, we're actually in there updating it for you, and you're like, hey, I did this. We're an email away, a text away, and you just get to text us instead of having to go in and finagle it yourself. So after a few months, typically there's not as many of those coming in, but it does happen from time to time. But also for that fee, you get the unified inbox, you get that reviews AI thing I showed you, the voice AI, etc. So there's a stack that comes with that makes it worth it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Pete, how do we get in touch with you if we decide that we'd like to look into it a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm just going to drop my cell phone in the chat. I find that's the best way to connect, for me at least. And we can chat, before we get on a call. I can make sure that we can help you guys first.
I'm going to say it. Do you have a bot on your cell phone?
I don't know. I should. I have actually one I did this week it's pretty cool. So we're still working on launching the site, but you'll be able to call the website, the phone, and it'll ask you about your business, and then it'll turn into a demo for your business. So you said bookkeeping, right, Kelsey?
Yeah.
So like you would tell it about your bookkeeping business, and then it'll switch halfway through and be like, okay, now I'm the bot for your bookkeeping business. Ask me questions like you're a customer.
I like it.
I wish I was sending that one right now, but it's not quite right.
And aside from potentially being your customers, is there anything we can do to help support you and to thank you for joining us this morning? Anywhere we can leave a review or anything like that?
No, honestly, just if you have someone that comes to mind that is looking for help with this, just shoot them my way. I promise you, if you reach out to me, I'm not going to try to sell you something you don't need. My purpose here wasn't to pitch my company the whole time. If I feel like you should go a different direction, I will tell you. I'm here to work. I want to work with people who need it and really are going to get a ton of value from it. So even if you're like, hey, I looked into this, I'm not quite sure, and you just need a quick answer on that, happy to help.
Awesome. Well, I will make sure to send a message to the rest of the group that wasn't able to attend today to share your number and give a little info on what you discussed.
Cool.
And that way, if anyone else has more questions, they can reach out. But
Love it.
Keaton, thank you so much for joining us. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.